Okay, welcome. Welcome to Dr. Teach Me to Parent. Glad to have you with us again today, and we got a great program. And today we're going to focus on the issue of alcohol addiction, excessive drinking of alcohol, nonsense drinking of alcohol, if you will. And if you are into that area of your life and you have a problem with it, or you know somebody, this program's for you. And make sure that you bring somebody into the program today. Call them up and tell them to listen. If you know somebody that struggles with this issue of alcohol and they need to be educated on it a little bit, today's the day. So welcome to our program, and we have a special guest today, Pastor Todd Harris. Todd Harris devotes a great deal of his time to working with families in the area of alcohol addiction. So we're going to interview him and have him just kind of educate us regarding the issue of alcohol in the family and what it's doing to all of us in the family and our community. But before I bring Todd on, let me give you a little quote that just kind of puts this into perspective, okay? Here's the quote. It says this: when a person drinks to forget, he usually forgets to stop. Now, that's really a kind of profound statement, Todd, and I gather there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
If that's the reason you drink, to kind of forget something, there's no stopping.
Forget, escape. You don't want to be in the moment, or you don't want to be
That's
where
right.
you're at.
That's right.
There's a lot of reasons why people drink. People drink because they just want to kind of loosen up, they say.
Yeah.
It makes me a little bit more gregarious, or whatever the case may be.
Well, we all have excuses.
That's right.
If this is an excuse to do what you really know that you should not be doing. It's not good for you, but you got to justify it somehow. We call that an excuse. So that's one of the excuses. Mm-hmm. I got to forget this, or I have to achieve this, or I have to have this kind of motivation or interest, and therefore you drink. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, you're into a drinking pattern that doesn't stop.
Yeah.
That's why I say you forget to stop. Right. Yeah. Hey, Todd, give us a little bit of background to this. You are devoting your life, your professional life now, to working with families that are addicted to alcohol. How did you get into this? What was the pathway?
I grew up in a family where mom and dad both loved me dearly. My dad never touched a drop of alcohol.
Good.
His dad did. His dad was a really kind of a mean drunk, if you will. And so I grew up, and I ended up going to, I believe it was middle school, where I drank my first beer. Buddy and I.
So you were seventh grade, eighth grade, or whatever.
Seventh, eighth grade. I didn't really like alcohol, but I wanted to fit in, right? And so you want to fit in, and then we smoked a little marijuana, and this partying atmosphere. Just what you just said, Alan. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be somewhere I wasn't in the moment.
That was your excuse.
All right,
that was your excuse.
And drugs.
Yeah.
Helped me do that. Helped me fit in.
Yeah.
Helped me to feel a different feeling, other than the one I was feeling. Mm-hmm. Did that for a while, and I found myself in high school partying a little more than I wanted to. Went away to college at San Luis Obispo. Found my drug of choice, and the drug of choice was rock cocaine. I was always one of those people that liked speed, because I'm a functioning alcoholic, if you will. And the big picture is, I came back to Fresno, finished my AA degree, and said, you know what, I'm going to take a little time out. And went to work, but all of a sudden, alcohol and drugs became more important.
That's really been the pattern that everybody experiences. A little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Correct.
And then a little bit more. And then we're on a scale, we're on a ladder.
Right.
You walked up the ladder right up into cocaine and beyond.
Right.
Yeah.
So alcohol and drugs became more important to my work. One day, I got home, and I was really in a place where I needed help. I didn't know how to get help.
Oh, that's right.
People don't know how to get help. And so I called a buddy of mine that was in recovery. You know what I said? I said, hey, Scott, how do you get out of this? He came over, pulled in the driveway. Didn't even get out of his car. You know what he said, Alan? He said, Todd, if you really want help, go back in that house and tell the people you love the most that you need help. And he drove away.
That's a good starting point.
I said to myself, how do you do that?
Good starting point. You better be honest with the people who are close to you.
Walked in.
You better bring them into your problem. Bring them into your solution.
Mm-hmm. And if you feel like no one loves you, there is someone that loves you. And that's the people that are on the road to recovery.
Yeah.
So I plugged in, went to a 3-day detox, went to a 6-month outpatient program. That's where I started getting honest with myself. Because, Alan, here's a truism.
Yeah.
Here's who you think I am, Here's who I think I am, and then there's me.
Then there's actually...
And then
yeah,
there's me.
That's right.
And recovery worked on me.
Yep.
And I had to get honest with my innermost self that I had a problem, and then I really couldn't drink anymore.
And not until you come to that point do you make any alterations of your life.
Right.
You're just going on a path.
Right.
Yeah. There's that road to recovery, but there's also that road to addiction.
Right.
And those two roads are two different roads, and you walk them both.
I did walk them both. One's real wide, and the other one's real narrow, and very few find it.
There you are.
So I jumped into that and started a little landscaping business, was going to AA. But what I found to be true is this, is that I got the calling to help the person who still suffers. That's the primary purpose. And I said, how am I going to do that? Went back and got a BA in Christian Studies and went to work at the Valley Teen Ranch. I was helping.
Sure.
We were house parents. My wife and I were out there
you were there.
with delinquent kids, and we sat there and really helped them process, because a lot of them didn't have mothers or fathers.
No.
But we were their mother and father. We were their mother and father to the fatherless and the motherless.
Yeah.
And we started processing with other therapists out.
And it helped you move your life forward as much as you help those kids.
That's correct.
Move forward.
Giving back.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving back. I went to work at Northwest Church underneath HSPs and started this thing in the Valley called Celebrate Recovery.
Yes.
And it's a Christ-centered 12-step group that helps the whole family recover, not just the alcoholic. Alcoholics Anonymous is great, but it's single in purpose. Celebrate Recovery helped the whole family recover, and that's what we really want to talk about today, right, Alan?
Right.
Is how to help the whole family recover from
because
this.
everybody gets affected by this. This is not an individual problem.
That is correct.
Alcohol addiction becomes a family problem, becomes a community problem, a friendship problem. I mean, a work problem, an employment problem. On and on it goes. You must have experienced it all.
I did, and I think you brought up the question: when do you know when you need help? Yeah. When is that bewitching point when you say, you know what, I think I might have an alcohol problem? And for everybody it's different. But just to think you might have a problem, you probably have a problem. Because the normal drinkers don't think they have a problem.
It isn't knowing they have a problem, it's coming to the admitting that you have a problem, to acknowledging that and to making it a social issue. Telling somebody who's important to you, telling your family, telling somebody you love. And that's the problem. How do you tell it? How do you say it? You know it inside you. You people who go through the addiction know that they're addicted. They know they're in trouble. They know it's getting worse. They just can't tell somebody.
And some of the symptoms may be loss of work, calling in sick, getting your loved ones to call in and make an excuse for you.
Yep.
Right.
The pathway is sharp.
Right.
Yep.
All of a sudden you drink and drive and you have a DUI. I mean, all these little nuances that lead up to the point where, whoa, losing boyfriend, girlfriends over drinking.
Yep.
All of a sudden waking up at night, going, what happened last night? Having blackouts, grayouts, alibis don't work anymore. All these little nuances start to creep in, and you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Alcohol is controlling me. I'm not controlling it.
But to be able to voice that, you see, you can say it to yourself, and I think a lot of people do, but they can't voice it to somebody who's important to them. And the more somebody's important to them, the less you can voice it.
Correct.
So who do you talk to? Who do you go to? So that's where Celebrate Recovery comes in. That's where AA comes in.
That's where Total Life Change
That's
comes
when
in.
friendships come in.
Correct.
Yeah, and your organization, Total Life Change. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But you got to find somebody who understands and who can become part of your solution now because they know your problem.
That is correct. I couldn't agree with you more, Alan. And as you look at that, where does that happen? A lot of times you go to church and they'll ask you how you're doing. You'll say you're fine. Everybody's fine at church. It's just an amazing phenomenon, right? But they're really not fine because everybody has problems. You go to work and your boss knows, but you're not going to go to your boss. You're afraid of getting fired.
Yeah.
So there are those people in your life that that are safe. And then there's those organizations where they're going to be a safe place to share where you're at.
So what was the key thing that turned your life?
So the key thing was when I sat down at that table with Mom and Dad, and I told them I had a problem. They go, "Oh yeah, Todd, we know you have a problem. What do you want to do about it?" And then it was on me.
So put it back on you.
So then I said, I need help.
Yeah.
And so that's when I went into the 3-day detox program and then to a 6-month outpatient program. And there's a difference between support groups and treatment. I needed
Oh, yeah.
treatment to understand how to apply support groups to my life.
Yeah, support
And
comes second. That
that's
comes
right.
later. That's right.
That's right. And so as I started to develop a manner of honest living,
Yeah.
I worked through a process of rigorous honesty. And that requires getting accountability in your life. That requires getting a mentor or sponsor.
Yeah.
That requires doing life on life's terms, not wanting to escape back into that
There you
place
are.
where the alcohol, the drugs took you.
There you are.
Like you were just saying, right?
What's your comment on this? I was talking to a guy the other day. 25 to 30 bottles of beer per day.
25 to 30 bottles
Of beer per day.
Well, one thing, the body can't handle that for a sustained period of time.
No, it can't.
You know, once the liver is pickled, you know, a cucumber is a cucumber until it becomes a pickle. Then it can't become a cucumber anymore because it's pickled, right? So that's exactly what happens.
That's a good
with the
analogy,
liver.
by the way. Yeah, I heard that.
And,
Yeah.
and so when you start to look at what the effects does,
Yeah.
the alcoholism, you are really taking your body to a state where it is going.
Well, I think it would take your mind, your whole brain to a state.
Correct.
I mean, that's where you get into delirium. You can't think clearly.
Yep.
You can't understand. You can't interact. You can't make decisions. You do
Based
things
on
that
self.
without thinking. You can't check your impulses. I mean, you're beyond hope.
Over the
at that.
years, Alan, you know, you bring up a thought. I had a guy that died of alcoholism, and he got to the point where his body was breaking down, and he really wanted to quit, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, he needed that substance to sustain life, and it really takes a medical detox when you're that intoxicated with alcohol. But on the other hand, you know,
Yeah.
you have to look at the fact, what do you think 25 beers of alcohol costs a day?
Oh.
I mean, let's just put the cost in.
Oh, yeah,
Right? I mean, you'd have to have a pretty good job or a
yeah. Income
pretty good
to support
codependent.
that. Yeah. You got
Right?
somebody to support you on that.
So I always say an alcoholic or an addict cannot sustain without a good codependent. And codependents
Yeah.
think, oh no, well he said he was going to quit. Oh,
That's a
she
good
said
word.
she was going to quit.
Yeah.
But you know, followed by miserable relapse. Miserable relapse.
What happens to the family? You know, here you are drinking within the family. You're the dad, you're a big uncle, you're a brother, you know, and now this whole family it gets affected by it. Drinking is not a solitary activity. This is a social activity. Even though you don't think people know, and people, like you said, your parents, they knew it. You know, it affects them. They knew it. They were waiting for you to come to your senses to be able to say, I've got to do something.
Great question. I had a call just this week, as a matter of fact, Alan. Another person called me and said, you know, I have a family member. Their daughter is really on the throes of alcoholism, drug abuse. What do we do? What do I tell the family? I said, well, first of all, does she want help? Well, we don't know if she wants help yet.
Well.
So there's two sides to this. One, you can set up an intervention. But if they want help, you can bring them in the office and we can start to look at options. And there's a lot of options in this town of how to get right
there are,
with
yeah.
your alcoholism
Sure,
and drug abuse.
sure.
But you have to want it. Right, Alan?
You know, it's almost like excuse. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
It's there. It's there. You know, all you have to do is ask a few people, and boy, before you know it, you're connected.
So on the intervention stage, if they don't
Yeah.
want help, the family member has
Yeah.
to get to the point where they can sit down with a real professional like myself and start to walk them through what an intervention looks
Yeah.
like. Because the intervention piece takes the family members to write down how this particular person's alcohol or drug abuse has had certain episodes in life that has affected them and the family.
You know, you're saying something very important. We usually think of how the family is affected by somebody's drinking, how that family is disintegrated as a result of somebody's drinking. You're saying really the family is a source of healing. It's a source of non-addiction, coming out of the addiction. It's a source of support and changing of a life.
And their addiction is trying to fix this person that doesn't want help.
Well, and don't know how to do it, so they keep trying this, keep trying that, keep trying something else.
So what we found to be most helpful in this situation, Alan, is that the family members write down specific examples. They come to me or someone who's in professional in doing this, and they read it, and we practice before we get the addict or the alcoholic in the room. Because the addict or the alcoholic, the minute they walk in the room, they're going to go, uh-oh.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
What is this, right? And if we're prepared,
Yeah.
if we're prepared to share how their life choices has affected us and the family, they're more apt to be ready to then get into some sort of treatment. And the treatment needs to be ready right then, right there.
Yeah, that's a key factor. You know, I get affected by somebody's drinking, but I don't say anything about it.
Right.
You know, I get mad, I get upset, I get angry, but I don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity for me to tell how I am affected by the drinking of my family member.
Right. You bring up a good point. So, you know, people talk about tough love.
Yeah.
And I've always said, you know, this is the big elephant in the room. Tough love is very simple. There's 3 aspects to it. And the 3 aspects are say what you see, say how you feel, and don't be afraid to talk about it. Let me say that again.
Yeah.
You say what you see, but people are afraid to say what you see.
That's right.
Oh, no,
That's-
he's going to yell at me.
That's right. What's going to come? Yeah.
Say how I feel. Well, you know, that's not how they start telling you how you're feeling. No.
Yeah.
But then don't be afraid to talk about it. So if you can really, if you can take those 3
Yeah.
and start to practice those in your family, you'll find health and wholeness in areas you never thought you could find it.
You know, it's a good formula for life.
Yeah, you're right.
Not just dealing with an alcoholic in your
Right.
life, but you know, kind of a whole life you want to deal with
Right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a idea out there that says that a person who's been drinking and addicted and drinking for a long period of time can learn now to control their drinking, can learn how to stop, can learn how to bring it to a point and then it's over. Is that possible? In
You
your
know-
experience, does that happen?
In my experience, in 32 years of it,
Yes.
you know, if you don't know the date you quit, you haven't quit yet. My date is July 15th, 1987.
I see.
That was the day.
That is a marker.
Yeah. July 14th wasn't a good day, 87, but July 15th was the first day of the rest of my life.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so people would ask me, "Oh, Todd, you know, you got to stop drinking." Well, I didn't think drinking was really my problem. It was drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
But they said you drank because when you drank, then you went to your drug of choice. But to answer your question, here's the question. The question is, Todd, can people become a normal drinker
Yeah.
after they've said they're an
Yeah.
alcoholic? Well, my hat's off to them that can. And I think some people try to do that.
Yeah, they do.
And some are successful.
Yeah.
Okay? But I'm saying there's who you think I am, there's who I think I am, and then there's me.
Yeah.
If you really want to get in recovery, you want to work on the whole you. And alcohol keeps you away from the people that are in that process, that are keeping you healthy because you're starting to feel ashamed. Uh-oh, they think I'm drinking again, right?
Yeah.
So the shame, the guilt, and there's toxic shame and there's healthy shame, right,
Yeah.
Alan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So the healthy shame is you
Yeah.
get convicted, you're going, I need to change. Toxic shame keeps you away from the people that want to
Yeah.
help you the most.
You know, many years ago, I did a research study with a colleague of mine, Dr. Lowell Campbell,
Okay.
in Minnesota.
Wow.
And we took a group of alcoholics, well-confirmed alcoholics, and we put them in a program of teaching them how to drink in a controlled, restricted, limited manner. 20% of them were able to do that for a year's period of time. Then we started to see some fall off, you know, as you might kind of expect.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting because there was only certain people that could do that. They had a support system in place. They had motivation, had a reason, you know, to no longer drink excessively. So there was a kind of a selected few, but there were about 20% that were able to do that. And we didn't follow it up after a year, so I don't know really what happened. But there was some fall off, you know, after that period of time. So it kind of drew me to the conclusion that yes, maybe that is possible, but I don't recommend it. Even so,
No.
I still don't recommend it.
No.
Because how do you know you're going to be one of the 20%? Are you
I've
just
never-
fooling yourself?
I've never recommended it, and what I found to be true is most alcoholics, they may do it for a little bit of time, but they always
Yeah.
get back to the amount of drinking they came in with. And so sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but I've never seen it to be a foolproof
So when you've
solution.
been an alcoholic, if you want to use that word, and you've
Yeah.
been addicted, you've been in a serious life battle, why would you want to go back to it if you quit?
Well, the enticement of the world. You know, you think about it for a second. Every infomercial, even you pull up your phone, I mean, everything comes around a good time. And a good time's always
There you
associated
are.
with what?
There you are. There you are.
Well, let's have a little drink. Let's smoke a little marijuana. You know, it's a facade. It's you know, you can have a good time without that. But what happens is we succumb to our vices, and we just one. That's what the alcoholic tells himself. Well, it isn't the first one. It's
Yeah,
the first one
yeah.
that gets you, not the 100th one.
That's right.
Right?
But see, we fool ourselves, and we think that it's a decision,
Yeah.
that it's a choice. You know, there are people who say, yeah, you drink, but it's your choice. I'm not so sure this is a choice. This is an addiction. This is a drive. This is a compulsion, you know, to do something, to drink.
It is a choice to drink. I have a choice to pick up or not. Now,
But that choice is influenced by a lot of power.
The ism is, and I believe this. My dad's dad was an alcoholic. My dad never touched it because he saw what it did to his dad. Well, he never touched it. I picked it up. I believe it's a hereditary disease, and it was game on, right? I didn't drink like a gentleman. I don't know how to drink like a gentleman.
But you say something that a lot of kids watch their parents drink. A lot of the kids watch their parents disintegrate. Family breaks up, jobs go by their wayside. I mean, divorce happens, and then that kid grows up and he drinks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You would think that, like you say, why would you do what your father did when it was so destructive? So stay away from it.
More is caught than taught. You stop to think about it. When people are out there and they want to emulate, different pros or different people they see, and they see them having a good time with it, and all of a sudden they pick it up, and it is a disease, and disease is dis-ease. It causes dis-ease in your life.
If it's a disease, then there's a health problem. That there's some kind of a health breakdown.
Yeah,
because that's what disease is. It's the breakdown of a biological function system. So, is that something that happens at 1 year of drinking, 10 years of drinking, 20 years of drinking? What's your experience when the body begins to break down because of the years of alcohol consumption?
There's a chart called the Jellinek chart, and he had put this together. And you start off just having a drink or two, and then it becomes 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden it gets to the point where reverse tolerance. What got you drinking, what got the buzz on the first time with a 12-pack, now it's only 2 or 3.
Yeah, you build a tolerance. You gotta drink more to produce that effect.
Right,
that buzz. Yeah.
But then there's a reverse tolerance where all of a sudden it's 2 or 3
to
get
down.
the same effect you did with 12.
That's right.
And all of a sudden you get behind that car. And all of a sudden you're putting in jeopardy a lot of different people. So this Jellinek chart puts down, and it never gets better, it always gets worse, the ism, right? But any time in the chart, the bell chart, you can go across to the recovery side. Now, it comes to chronic lying, losing your bowels. All of a sudden, you can't keep peeing your pants. You're peeing the bed.
Yeah.
A lot of times what happens is you get varicose veins. You get the DTs, the shakes. You wake up in the morning and you're shaking until you have your first drink.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of signs when the body starts to deteriorate.
The research study I referred to here a little while ago, 20 years ago, was done with Dr. Skip Campbell as well. We had a second component to it, and that is we looked at these people that were drinking over a long period of time, and then we looked at their health patterns, their whole health records. And what we found was, in a sense, that at 20 years of drinking, the health pattern shows a deterioration. I mean, heart begins to have now problems. The functions of the kidney begins to have functions. The liver begins to have
that
functions.
Makes sense.
All the stomach now begins to have functions. Cancer sets in. Various kinds of heart problems and vascular problems all set in at about 20 years of drinking.
That makes
So it's going to get you.
Yeah, it's going to get you.
It's going to get you.
This day and age, the kids are coming earlier because of the drugs, the opioids. I see kids coming in the program now at age, 16, 17, 18. In the 32 years I've been working the program, I've only seen one guy come in at 18 and he's still sober today. But this kid, he used to go to high school and he'd put a keg in his trunk and he put a little tube up to his visor and he was drinking like you were saying,
Just like all day,
all day long. Yeah, I mean he'd go to his car and he'd fill up his cup with beer. I mean the ism is the ism. When you want alcohol more than anything else in life, I'd say you're an alcoholic.
Then you've had
You
it.
have to bring it. You have to bring it to work. You're hiding it. I mean, that's another thing that comes to mind is you hide your alcohol, right? You put in vodka in water bottles. I mean, I've seen it all. They're so sneaky, and it's
Why do you do that? I mean,
powerful.
you're in a self-destructive path, but it's almost like you have no control. You've lost your control. You've lost your sense. You have no good positive sense anymore.
Yeah.
And all you're convicted are you're driven by, your compulsion is to drink more and look to the time when I can drink again.
Yeah. The man takes the drink and the drink takes the man.
There he is. Hey, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And we'll take about 2 minutes, go get a cup of coffee, and join us back in just a couple minutes with Todd Harris as we talk further on this area of alcohol addiction.
The Green Gables Care Home is a 24-hour assisted living facility for the elderly located in Clovis, California, offering spacious private and semi-private rooms which are wheelchair approved, catering to the special person in your life who needs attention and wants to live in a loving home environment. The Green Gables Care Home has assisted living in secured homes for elderly with Alzheimer's, memory loss, and for your loved ones needing assistance with their activities of daily living. Call 559-297-9438 and visit greengablescarehome.com.
Sometimes good intentions hurt rather than help. For just $1.76 per meal, the Fresno Rescue Mission offers more than food. We offer hope. Please donate today.
Do you need a locksmith? Layman's Lock and Safe Service and Repair is available for you. 559-228-1805.
Gained a lot, learned a lot, and got a lot of love. If it weren't for the knowledge that I had gained from the classes at PCC, I probably wouldn't be the mom I am today. See, there it goes.
I would love you to meet my son, Aaron. My situation was very difficult. I didn't know how my life was going to turn out.
We graduated in June 2010 and we got married in July. And through family, the Pregnancy Care Center changed our lives.
The Pregnancy Care Center was a huge, vital part in helping me walk through that pregnancy, in educating me and loving on me during that time.
Choosing a Medicare plan can be difficult and frustrating. Susan Hatch can guide you through the Medicare maze and help find the right plan for you. Susan helps people understand the confusing and drastic changes that occur every year in Medicare. Susan will only recommend plans that will protect your assets and allow you to continue to see your personal doctor. As a 100% independent agent, Susan is not controlled by any particular insurance company to steer a person onto any one particular plan. Susan was awarded the #1 Medicare supplement agent in California. Look for Susan's Medicare question and answers every Monday in the Fresno Bee. Call Susan at 559-307-2287 and visit MedicareToday.net.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Okay, welcome back to our good program, Dr. Teach Me to Parent. Todd Harris, our expert today in the area of alcohol addiction. Todd is the director of the treatment program Total Life Change, and in a little bit he's going to tell us about his program and what he does and how that can be of help. But first of all, Todd, let me come back to you with the question of saying, what is going on with our youth today in the area of alcohol addiction? They seem to be attracted to it in spite of the fact that it's so destructive as a drug. Are kids today drinking more or less?
I think the kids today are dual diagnosed, and they're not just drinking. They're using different prescription medicines, mixing that. Marijuana's the topic. You know, it's legal now. They say, I got my marijuana card.
Yeah.
You know, the whole concept is a kind of a dual diagnosed. I'm going to drink. I'm going to do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, and
so that's what you're seeing with kids today.
That's what
it isn't all alcohol.
No.
It isn't all the marijuana. It's a little bit of mixture of various drugs. They're a little bit of everything then, huh?
Right.
Although there's always that drug of choice.
And they'll find it.
Uh-huh.
They will find it. Once you find your drug of choice, you'll do anything to get it.
Is there anything a parent can do? Can you tell a parent, look, if your kid is dabbling in this stuff, here's the first thing you do. Here's the second thing you do. What is it?
So the first thing you do is you definitely ask the child themselves, do you want help? I see things are kind of, your grades are going down, or you found some things in the room, or there's some empty bottles, and you'll get the denial. But you know what? Always go to them first. Not with some kind of demand or legalistic thing. Just say, hey, you know what? I've been where you're at. I've had some tough times in life. Do you want some help? That's the first thing.
That's great. That's
You know,
very compassionate.
and you have to have some empathy, because no one's perfect, right?
That's right.
But if you get the disrespect, all of a sudden you get the throwback. Now you need some help from a professional.
Yeah, we kind of do it authoritarian, don't we? I mean, we
Right.
really come at kids. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times folks will then go to either a pastor, they'll go to a counselor, right? They'll come to Total Life Change. And we have different areas where we direct them to different services that will help the family get healthy, because it affects the whole family.
Yeah.
And so many parents will just turn a blind eye. Oh, it's just part of a phase he's going through. Well, you know what? Part of the phase they're going through these days, I just got a call last week. A mother found her son dead. Woke up. He had taken some fentanyl, and he went on to be with the Lord. And it was just tragic. I hope that doesn't have to be you. You have to be proactive in this.
So if a parent says, kid, you want some help, where do you next turn? I mean, if the kid says, okay, yeah, I do. I mean, where do you go next?
So next steps would be, first and foremost, I'd say call Total Life Change, because we can navigate. I have the ability. I've been in the field for 32 years. If we can't help you in our center, we will navigate you to the right
To
place.
somebody that can.
A lot of times people have insurance. So call your insurance company. You know, and your insurance company will then guide you to different agencies that can help the addicted.
You know, we used to think you go to your pastor and your pastor will help you find somebody to be of help. But I have found pastors are not knowledgeable
No.
in this area. This
No.
is not their area of information.
No, that's why I started Total Life Change. I've been a pastor for 20 plus years, and I did all the service work in Northwest and Yosemite Lakes Church, and now Clovis Hills. The recovery pastor, they'll send them to me so I can navigate through
Yeah, but
life's
you're different
challenges.
because this is your field. This is
Right.
your specialty.
But so
the average pastor out there does not know.
No.
They wouldn't know where to turn.
they wouldn't know to turn. So
So it's a disappointment.
it is a disappointment. And that's why we want to be more proactive at getting services out there that can help the pastors guide them, these families and loved ones, to a place where they can find hope and a future.
Yeah.
Because it really is, it disables the whole family, disconnects the whole family.
Yeah. You know, as a psychologist, I say, okay, look for a psychologist in your community. Find
Yeah.
somebody in your area that, you know, is a psychologist. Not all psychologists specialize in addiction. Not all psychologists know about addiction.
Correct.
But many of them do. And there are some social workers. Many don't. Many of them know how to deal with the area of addiction.
That's right.
So you got to find somebody that knows the issue of the addiction, not just the fact that they're a psychologist or a social worker or marriage and family counselor or a pastor or whomever. Right?
Yeah, we have a family group that meets on Wednesday nights. It's free to the public, 6 to 7:15.
Oh, is that right? Okay,
We
we'll
started
connect
with
that.
3 or 4. Now it's up to 20. And these folks come in and they share life's problems of how their family members, they've been trying to fix them and they don't want help. But here's what I found to be true: if you get the family healthy, then the addict or the alcoholic will have to look at themselves and either find another codependent or get help themselves.
You know, we always say crime is part of alcoholism, part of the addiction pattern. And I gather you really almost are going to have some form of criminal behavior if you're into the addiction pattern pretty strong and regular. It almost goes together. Is that true?
I found that you'll dabble in the dark side, the black market, if you will. This day and age, since marijuana is legal, you have these different pot shops.
Yes.
But they're still getting it off the streets. But if you're going to go get cocaine, you're going to go get heroin, you're going to go get some of the opioids that you can't get from the drug, you're going to go meet those people in those dark alleys, in those back rooms of wherever they are, and all of a sudden you've crossed the line. You found yourself where you didn't want to be. It took you where you didn't want to go.
And you can't get out of it.
And it kept you longer than you wanted to stay.
And you can't get out of there.
Right. And when the strong arm of the law gets involved with it, you can guarantee you'll be powerless over that. They will win.
who's the kid or who's the person in the family? Let me put it that way. Who's the person in the family is going to have the voice of authority, the voice that the kid will listen to? Is it usually mother? Is it usually father? Is it usually an uncle, aunt? Is it a grandparent? Who usually in the family is the voice of reason that a kid will relate to and maybe listen to?
It's a good question, Alan. You know, when you look at family dynamics,
Yeah.
Every one of the family members has kind of a job, or would I say
Mm-hmm.
a purpose, or kind of a character that people gravitate to. Dad usually is the authoritarian figure. Mom's usually more of the passive. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, in
Hey,
general,
sometimes they can flip.
more compassionate,
sometimes
sure,
it's an
sure,
older sister.
sure.
They have more compassion. You know, hey, go talk to your older sister. And the older sister then is able to tell the alcoholic or the addict,
yeah.
hey, you know what, let's go talk to mom. So it really depends on kind of what the family dynamic kind of is grown up with. A lot of times these kids don't have mother or father. They'll go
Yeah.
to a youth pastor.
Yeah.
They'll go to a friend on the streets saying, hey, you know what, I want to go talk to your mom and dad.
It's a parent of one of their friends often.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And grandparents play a great role.
Big role.
Big role usually.
A lot of times, grandparents will hear things or get things out of their grandchildren that normally they wouldn't tell their parents because they don't want to get in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of a safe landing for them a little bit. You know, and I think that, and in a family, I think whoever seems to have the voice to the kid is the one that speaks. Now, you kind of know, your kid will listen to your father, listen to the mother, will listen to a grand. That's pretty well established within family life. That's the person that needs to carry the load, doesn't it? Need to do the confrontation, need to do the building of support, and bring the kid into a place where change can start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it starts when the family wants help, not just the addict. So a lot of times the family will say, oh no, they're the one that have the problem. No, we
They are.
all have the problem.
all have
Alan,
it, yeah.
Because the problem is systemic. When one family member's hurt, we all hurt.
That's right. But the family is often the place that something can start.
Yep.
We get a new start, a new beginning.
That's correct.
But it's got to be, it happens within the family. A kid doesn't do this on his own.
Right.
Dad doesn't usually do it on his own. Uncle doesn't do it. Big brother doesn't do it on his own. There usually has to be some kind of a support system that comes alongside of them and brings them into a network where change can take place.
A lot of times the flip side is the alcoholic will be the father or the mother, and the caretaker is the child.
Often.
And now we have adult children of alcoholics.
Yeah.
And what do you do with a dad or a mom that doesn't want help?
There you are.
And you're living in this environment
Yeah.
where you're actually the parent to the parent.
That's right.
It's a very difficult place to be in.
So you referred to Total Life Change. That's your organization.
That is my organization.
And you reside here in Fresno.
Yep.
And are you a treatment center or are you more of an informational center?
So we like to look at ourselves as a concierge service. There is different attributes that make up Total Life Change. And the way it started was we realized that businesses need a place to send their employees. You could have a good employee, but they could be a great employee if they could get through a trial,
Right.
a hurt, a habit, or a hang-up. And a lot of times someone will come to work, and maybe it'll be a secretary, and their loved one, just like Dr. Alan Hedberg and I have been talking about, what do we do? How do I help my loved one? Because they're just a mess at work. Send them to Total Life Change, and we'll do a great assessment. And the assessment in itself will tell us if we can help them in our center. In our center, we have one-on-one counseling. We have an outpatient group. We're the only outpatient group in town that works with the person that has a job. We're not going to put you a 30-day inpatient. It's 3 days a week, and it's an hour and a half with high accountability. It's 6 months to a year. What we found to be true is this, Alan, is that the person who's already been through a treatment center usually needs about 6 months.
That's right. That's
The
right.
person who hasn't never been in a treatment center usually needs about a year.
Yeah, the research shows that if you can make it for about 6 months, you have a very good chance of making it for the next 2 years.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So we work on a sliding scale, and then we also do anger management. We're licensed in anger management. Anger management is something that happens. Everybody gets angry.
That's right.
Right? Everybody gets angry. It's okay to get angry, but can you be angry at the right person? To the
And
right
in the right
degree.
way, make it productive.
Right person, right
that's
time,
right.
right? And so, how do you do that? How do you have emotional intelligence? And so, we really pride ourselves in our center on working in those three areas: working with the whole family, working with the addict, and working with the person that needs to work on their anger.
I see.
And we do great assessments.
So if a family out there has a kid who's into alcohol and at the point now of looking at a change, as a dad, kind of looking at a possible change, looking at a mother, that's down the road, or a family member, best thing to do is just call your office.
Call the office.
And then you take it from there. What's the number?
475-9779.
And all they have to do is
475.
call that number,
Yep.
and then you will start them in a path
Right.
as to where they might go next.
Where's the next step?
It might be with you, but it might be some other source.
Might be another source. And there's plenty of sources. They can also go online, look at our website at tlc777.org, tlc777.org.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
Say it again.
tlc777.org. That's my that's my heart. My heart is to help the people who still suffer in life, that don't know where to turn, don't know where to go. I was at churches so many times, people come in the office, well, go talk to Todd. I'm thinking, well, that's just one church, right?
Yeah,
That's just one
that's right.
church. Well, now I have my own nonprofit where I can help all the churches and all the businesses. We just got through helping an employer in town that had an employee that was on opioids. He came to me and he goes, Todd, what can you do? He says, I'll tell you what, we want to pay for half the program, and we want him to pay for the other half.
Good way of doing it.
Now
by the
he's
way.
off. Let me tell you something. What it did for the employee, for the employer, he said, I didn't have to retrain him. He was already a good employee.
That's right.
But he's a great
Now he's better,
employee.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's off. I didn't have to find another guy and train him.
Yeah.
And so it worked out great. Another employee sent someone here, and it vetted the system, and he had to let him go. But he got in the right treatment place he's at, and he's a better person for it.
Yeah.
His whole family's better for it. So, we want to really be a resource for not only the churches, but the whole community, and help people get out of those hurts, habits, and hang-ups.
Do you have a
that
location
bind
where people can find
them.
you?
Yeah, it's at 6th and Shaw here, 1300 East Shaw, Suite 121. It's right by Fresno State, kind of 6th and Shaw area. And we're there every day of the week, not the weekends. If you call, you can set up an appointment. Be happy to talk with you.
Yeah. Do families though kind of come and then just kind of quit after 1 or 2 or 3 sessions? I mean, is that a common pattern, or are the people when they come are really committed and they stay with the program?
It depends. A lot of folks, what I say is try it 6 times. Come 6 times.
Yeah.
We do six sessions, and after the 6th session, you really know whether this is going to work for you or
Yeah.
not.
I did a study some years back. I'm a little researcher also, and I did a study with Alcoholics Anonymous. And I
Good.
took a population that went to Alcoholics Anonymous and stayed 3 times and then left. Their success rate was 17%.
Wow.
So then I took a group that went to Alcoholics Anonymous and stayed for 3 months or more. Their success rate was 50%.
That's awesome.
And then I took a group that stayed for a year or more, and their success rate was up to 60 and 65%.
It's awesome.
So it isn't necessarily the program, it's the staying with the program. It's the commitment to the program.
I've been going to AA for 32 years.
Well, you must have a higher success
I got
rate.
100%. I haven't taken a drink in 32
Yeah.
years.
Well, that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
See, people go, but they quit.
Yeah.
And then they say, well, it didn't work.
Right.
Right? It didn't help me.
Right.
Well, they only went 3 times.
What's great is that God can take your weakness and He can make it your strength. And I came in there. I knew of God, but I didn't know God. And it wasn't really about knowing God. It was about getting right with Todd, trying to get off that alcoholism and drug abuse that took me to places I didn't want to go.
There you are.
And kept me longer than I wanted to stay.
There you are.
And those people in there love me till I could love myself. Isn't that what it's about, Alan?
Yeah, it's what it's all about.
Finding someone who can love you till you can love yourself. Because I didn't like who I'd become. And if
addiction.
you're sitting out there today and you don't like who you've become, you checked into the right TV show today.
Yeah.
Because Alan and myself, we want to help you get on the path to success. That's what we're here for today. It's not about us. It's about us getting to the point where we can help you get out of that life destructive mode where it takes you. to
There's a
places you don't
viewpoint,
wanna go.
Todd, that says this: addiction of all kinds, a lot of different kind of addiction, is really a disorder of connection.
Ah, yes.
People are disconnected.
Yes.
And they desire to be connected. They want to be connected.
Right.
Don't know how to be connected. Don't know with whom to be connected.
Right.
Tried to be connected and it's failed, or it's been hurtful or painful.
It's difficult.
It's a connection issue. So that if you can set people into a system of support and encouragement and caring and compassion, you're setting that connection in place. And that will help. That will be a success factor.
Yeah. You know, there's an old saying that says you always get what you've always got if you always do what you've always done.
Well, there you are. You're going to get very far, yeah.
No. No, it's kind of like what you opened up with.
Yeah.
The alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
He takes a drink. What was that quote again?
Oh, yeah. If you take a drink to forget something,
You'll probably forget.
and then you'll forget to stop.
You'll forget to stop drinking. you know. So you really got to realize in life is a series of choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have a lot of choices until you make a choice.
But there's pressure on that choice.
Right.
There's a demand not to make that choice.
Right.
There's a demand to make an alternative choice. There's a demand to make a better choice, at least as far as you think, and as far as you see it. But not to make the choice that is in your best interest. That's where the catch comes in.
And that's a negotiation. You need to.
There you need
negotiate.
somebody to bring you into the fold. You need somebody to take your hand and say, this is the choice that is not only a good one and a right one, but it's the best for you.
That's right.
Trust me.
That's right.
But boy, I tell you, that trust is hard to come by.
Well, and you'll know when you find it because it's
Sure.
genuine.
Sure.
And it's sincere and it's honest.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a break and end our program here in a minute, but let me give you a quote, and I want you to comment, about this particular quote as well. Here's what the quote says. There is no situation so bad that a few drinks of alcohol will not make it worse. Okay, comment on that. No situation so bad
Right.
that a few drinks won't make it worse.
So the comment I have on that is that alcohol doesn't heal your pain; it makes your pain greater. So when I hear that quote, you may think it'll take it away for a while, but you get through that, your pain's right back where it was before you took the drink.
And you may even shift the pain. You may have a little less pain in the knee,
Right.
or the elbow, or the shoulder, but you're going to have much more pain in your life.
It's a
And in your
temporary
relationships.
solution for a long-term problem.
There you are. And it's going to be a very expensive
Right,
process.
right. You got
Have
it.
you ever figured that out, what it really costs
Oh gosh.
to be an alcoholic?
I'll walk in and I'll take a seat at a meeting. I said I paid a lot for that seat right
There you are. There you are.
If I had all the
Jobs,
money, if I
your
had all the money
marriage,
I
your
paid for that
cars,
seat.
your... I mean, it's not the cost of a bottle of beer.
No.
That's minimal.
It's minimal.
It's the cost of the divorce. It's the cost of your kid's life.
Oh.
It's the cost of your marriage, cost of your
Oh,
job.
my gosh.
You can't add that up.
No, you can't, Alan. And you speak into that in a way that we don't want to take that lightly, do we?
There you go. Hey, thanks for today.
Hey, great time.
Great guy. Total life change.
Total life change.
Give us the telephone number one more time.
559-475-9779. 559-475-9779. Website, TLC777.org. Alan, thank you so much.
There we go. We got it.
God bless you.
I hope that people will come to you and
Look forward to
we
it.
did our job today. Thank
Yes.
you.
All right.
Hey, thanks for joining us and see you in a bit.
need a dentist who has a passion for superior aesthetics and comfort, you need Dr. Christopher Wong with Cedar North Dental. Call 559-432-4948 or visit cedarnorthdental.com.
Try to close the club. Tanya, come here. At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Kitchen, my hometown.
It's not about learning the right steps. 4 or making contact.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's not about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about taking steps to greatness. About making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen has what it takes. It's about people in our clubs who bring out the greatness in every kid who enters our doors. It's not just about being on stage. It's about walking across it. Great futures start here, and here, and here.
Sat7 is a Christian media network that uses uncensored satellite television to broadcast across the Middle East and North Africa, and is also available globally online.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
If your home floods, who will you call? When your house springs a leak, it's time to call Clean Master Emergency Flood Service at 559-213-9430. Clean Master will be there in 60 minutes to start fixing your home. And Clean Master bills your insurance directly, saving you the hassle because you've got enough to worry about. Clean Master also offers carpet and upholstery cleaning, carpet repair, pet odor removal, and more. Remember, Clean Master Emergency Flood Service, 559-213-9430, and visit cleanmasterflood.com. Dr. in Sukasa allows you to connect with your doctor when you need a quick treatment. Avoid a trip to a medical clinic or emergency room and connect by video with your doctor from your home, work, or anywhere. Just go to drinsukasa.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Dr. in Sukasa provides quality care that is convenient, bilingual, and affordable, so you are never left without access to health care. Visit drinsukasa.com today.